Recorded live from Orlando, Florida and Nashville, Tennessee, you're listening to The Dapper Danielle Show, starring Ian Wilson, Clarence Kelly. And now, here's your host, the one and only, The Dapper Danielle.
Very High School Musical.
Very High School Musical. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Dapper Danielle Show. I am still hanging out over here in Florida. I am getting ready for a very busy weekend with a ton of friends from out of town coming in. And Clarence and Ian are still hanging down the fort over in Tennessee. And we're going to talk about something today.
I love that you started out every episode like, they're still hanging down the fort as if we're planning on leaving at some point. Like, we live here. This is just home.
It's true. But I think it's just to make it clear that we're not in the same place together this time.
That's what the intro says, live from Orlando, Florida, and Nashville, Tennessee.
It does. I keep forgetting that.
People may not listen. People may not watch that part. They may not know.
I don't know. I feel like that's some people's favorite part of the episode, though, is our intro. And it is done very well. So, again, shout out to Clarence, who animated that for us, brought that all together, and even created the music and the voiceover for it. So thank you so much, Clarence.
No problem.
Well, today's episode, I want to talk about something that I don't think any of us have seen this movie. Dick Tracy. Does anybody know about Dick Tracy and how it was Touchstone Pictures and Disney back in the day?
I watched the ad for it, and I was like, wow, this is very adult for a Disney-related film. It has Madonna in it. It has some very risque outfits, very risque innuendos that are, as you said, even in the trailer and some of the main quotes from it. So,
well, it was Touchstone. I mean, Touchstone was Disney's, like, adult entertainment, like grown-up entertainment. I mean, Touchstone is what produced the Golden Girls,
right?
So it's like it makes sense, and it all is from a friend of the show, Michael Eisner. Yeah, Michael, he's still alive, right?
Oh yeah, Michael was just interviewed here recently.
Okay, well, he needs to come on to our show. Danielle, if you have any connections with Michael Eisner,
I don't
get
know.
him in here so I can ask him a bunch of questions.
We could rename the Patreon tiers into how we rank Disney CEOs, basically. And Michael Eisner is the top tier for sure for Clarence.
I kind of like my Patreon tiers how they are right now. Thank you very much.
Okay.
They're very true to the Dapper Danielle brand. Mostly of my snacks of favorite.
We'll start
choices.
a competing Patreon. And all of them will be like Disney CEO levels, and top one will be Michael Eisner.
There you go.
And then the lowest one will be
Bob Chapek.
Bob Chapek. Yeah.
Oh,
Who's the other Bob? Bob Iger.
Bob Iger.
Actually, I'd put Iger below Chapek.
Oh.
Hot take.
You guys can start that competing Patreon if you would really like to, but I don't know if the Dapper Danielle branding
we'll get no
specifically
subscribers.
involved.
We'll get no money. It won't go anywhere.
One person will do it out of pettiness just because they love Eisner so much.
It will be Michael Eisner.
It'll be me. I'll be the only one paying for my own Patreon.
There you go.
Just recycle the money.
Anyway, honestly, just put it back in, and then you lose some because Patreon takes a piece out of it. You know, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But so. Again, yeah, we mentioned it. It was put out by Touchstone Pictures. Dick Tracy released in 1990, based on the American crime action film from the 1930s comic strip, which was originally created by Chester Good, or was that be Gold?
Gold.
Gold, is that how it be pronounced? It's spelled Gould.
Yeah, Gold.
Imagine like could or would. It'd be gold, good, gold. I don't know.
Gold? See, that's
Gould,
why I asked.
Gould. Okay,
right?
Anyway.
Well, there was an attraction that was planned for Walt Disney World that never came to be based on this movie. And even Ian said it was very risque. So the fact that this was coming into fruition, we talk about it in the new book that we're currently working on, which we'll be releasing in September. And as we were doing research for this.
Yeah, I'll just break in. But
yeah.
It wasn't just that there was an attraction plan. Disney was hyped on Dick Tracy. I mean, it was not just like, oh, we're going to make a little area in the park for Dick Tracy. It was like Dick Tracy was viewed as the answer to Universal's Batman, basically. It was like, this is the franchise of the future. Not Avengers, not Star Wars, all of those bad bets to make on IPs. Let's go all in on Dick Tracy, this detective from the 30s. He is going to lead us into the 20th century and 21st century, actually, and lots of money for the Disney company. So, I mean, it was... there was attractions, there was merchandise well before the movie was out. It was like the writing was on the wall that Dick Tracy was the next big thing for Disney, which is kind of crazy now because how many references do you see to Dick Tracy in the park?
None. There's absolutely, well, there's one. There's one singular one, and I'll get to it at the very end of this episode. But yeah, I really think it's because of Warren Beatty, right? So he's the guy that played Dick Tracy. He also produced, directed it. And he owned the rights to Dick Tracy because he was a fanboy. If you were going to have an actor be a fanboy over a character that they played, and this was their dream role to play, it was Warren. And he secured the rights. He went to multiple other studios. And then finally he brought it to Disney and Touchstone, and he's just like, hey guys, I got a script. I got some movie rights. Let me play with it. Let me use your money.
I know a really good-looking guy that'll play the lead actor in it. Me.
Right. And I maybe he just like, maybe after just bring it to so many different studios, he's like, this is it. I know how to sell it this time. I know how I'm going to convince these people to get it. And I think he really just sold it. The movie did eventually win awards, but I think it was for music and costuming. It wasn't necessarily for like best actor or anything like that. But it was interesting. But like Ian was saying earlier, yeah, Disney really put all their hopes into this Dick Tracy theming, and Disney does a lot of this with other movies too. They did this with Beauty and the Beast and Pocahontas and Tarzan. All of those movies, like weeks before they released, all of a sudden they would put out stage shows or movie musicals. But mind you, when they create this animation studio gives the bare minimum information to the entertainment department. They say, here's some costumes, here's the music, and here's a basic storyline. We're not going to tell you anything else. So, like for when Beauty and the Beast opened up, the songs were out of order. It opened up with Be Our Guest. And so, but they had to literally piece it together. And the show ran that way for the first year of operation. But same thing happened here with Dick Tracy. They opened up a show. It was a 28-minute musical based on the feature film.
Everybody loves.
Was the movie a musical? I've never seen the movie.
Well, Madonna's in it. No, it's not.
There's no musical numbers in the movie, as far
except
as
for what Madonna sings at the club.
Yeah, but it's just like a show song.
That doesn't make it a musical, though.
Yeah,
no,
it's not a musical. It's just Disney adapted. Everyone thinks, when you think Sound of Tommy Guns, it's like I just think of musicals. I'm like, that just logically is the next thing I think of.
I do. I think of Guys and Dolls. I think of West Side Story. That's what I think of.
Oh, that's true.
But not in the Disney universe.
Yeah. I don't know.
But if you look at this, I did include a photo in our personal notes over here, guys. This was at the Theater of the Stars originally. So this was before Hollywood Tower Terror was created. This was before Rock and Roller Coaster and that whole street right there. So this was located immediately behind where the Starbucks is currently in Hollywood Studios. So this was the original theater, and this was one of the last things that performed here before Beauty and the Beast kind of moved in. Right? And it was a musical and songs created about a movie that they had the bare minimum information for. And it kind of follows the plot, and it did okay when it first opened. So it opened on May 21st of 1990, and it did eventually open up in Disneyland too, but it lasted a little bit longer in Disney World, just by a couple of months. It did close in February of 1991, so barely a year.
The Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages.
This kind of reminds me when you're like online, not that I endorse this or have ever done this, by no means, but you know when you like see those like pirated films from like other countries that are like obvious rips of some major, you know, it's like an ant's adventure or something instead of a bug's life, and it's like, okay, yeah, there is a ant main character that sort of loosely goes on a bug's adventure, and it's kind of, this is like what it reminds me of. It's like, here's kind of the general inspiration, and then the Disney Entertainment was left to kind of create a story, and it was like, all right, well, we can make some songs that are good, we can make a story that ties all the elements together, but then, and not to like steal your thunder, but I think everyone, when they went to the park, was all of a sudden, and then the movie released several weeks later. So the show opened, and then several weeks later, the movie released.
I don't think it was even several weeks. I think it was only 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so 2 weeks, and then everyone was like, hey, the show doesn't match the movie at all. Like, there's no similarities in the storyline. And it was kind of billed as like the Dick Tracy show, just like the movie. And it was like, everyone, I think, was expecting that. And then the movie comes out, and it's like, yeah, this doesn't happen at all in the movie. So one of these is inconsistent, you know? So yeah, just the joys of not having the whole picture before the movie comes out.
But I mean, some people really loved it. Y'all, you can actually look it up. It's called Dick Tracy, starring in Diamond Double Cross. Diamond Double Cross was the name of the show. And somebody uploaded the entire script and has multiple like semi-decent recordings also of the show too, and so there's obviously fans of it, and there are Dick Tracy fans out there, but it just didn't do the same financially that Disney wanted it to, because even though it won awards, it made back its money in the box office. It wasn't a complete flop. It wasn't like Black Cauldron complete flop. But I mean, it's very, very unfortunate. But they did end up including a couple of other things instead, along with this. So not only did they have the show going on at the same time, there was something called Calling Dick Tracy Shop on Hollywood Boulevard, and at Disney's Hollywood Studios, opened on May 26, 1990. Guests could star in their own home video version of a Dick Tracy adventure. So,
which the home videos of these are hysterical. If you ever watch them, because it's these just awkward families that are just like, we have no idea what we're doing here, kind of. We
don't have a video recorder at all in our home, so we're gonna go ahead and do this here, and we don't know how to act in front of a camera at all. Could you imagine something like that now?
I could, and it'd be really funny.
It would be hilarious.
I would love to see that.
So this was very similar to what they were doing over in Pleasure Island too, where they had a make your own music video. The same concept was brought over here too. And you had these backgrounds and props and like basic costume pieces, like a hat, and like
a yellow trench coat, of course, of Dick
basically
Tracy.
To recreate your own scenes as a family if you wanted to. I will say though, this is something that I am not okay. The information about this, I found pictures. I found references of this in multiple different things. But if you look at D23, the website, what lists that right there, it said it closed January 12th, 1991, to become a Legends of Hollywood. Legends of Hollywood is where the original store was located, or the original stage was located.
Okay.
And if you look at the picture, which I'm going to, do I have a picture of it? I do. Okay, I'm going to drop this picture in right here. Do you know what building that is right there? That I just dropped in here. It has the little hints of red, the brown walls. It might not look familiar because it's missing an overhang.
Is it the Starbucks building?
Yes, it's the Starbucks building.
Wow.
And
so you could become Dick Tracy where Starbucks is now.
Yeah, literally. And so after Dick Tracy and all these things closed, it did become something else shortly thereafterwards. Basically the same concept, but not specifically calling it Dick Tracy. It became the toy store, and all the kids' toys were located in there for years, up until the early 2000s, and then it became the Starbucks location. Okay. But it just irks me that it's incorrect. And I'm like, you guys don't know the Florida park and you don't know what you literally have this picture on your website and immediately down below it, the information is wrong.
Misinformation from D23. Canceled. Fake news.
Fake
news.
While we were doing this, there was a couple other things that were also incorrect, and that's a rant for another time because I could go off about D23 and the lack of representation for Walt Disney World.
They need us there.
Yes.
Do it for them.
100%.
Until
Again,
they have
I'll just take.
Don't.
No. Well, there's a reason why I'm not a D23 member because I refuse to buy into it 100%. Anyway. So
okay,
all
do
this,
you think, middle of the show, question for Dapper Danielle and Clarence Kelly. Do you think, we're in the 90s, okay, we're releasing this film. Do you think there was anybody in the Disney executives that said, hey, we're building this franchise, right? The main character's name is Dick. Do you think this will age well? Like, do you think there was anyone in the executive world that had just the thought of like, maybe we should choose a name? Like, this is already kind of, I think by the 90s, becoming more sexualized. We're not in the 30s anymore where it's just a nickname for Richard, which in itself is becoming sexualized because we're in the 80s and the 90s. It's like, there is no good way to progress with that. Like, it would almost be laughable, I feel like, in 2026 if you named your main character Dick Tracy. Everyone would be like, this is a spoof. Like, you cannot be taken seriously with a name like that. Do you think any executive said, it's not worth it, like we should just start a new franchise, do the exact same thing with a new character name? Because it's just like, I feel like even the comic nowadays, like if you own, the guy that owns the comic and still producing it, it's like, what newspaper is going to run Dick Tracy nowadays just because of the name,
Right.
So do you think, what do you think the conversations were like in the 1990s? Disney's thinking about running this. Do you think Eisner was like, well, it's a risk, but it's a risk I'm willing to take because I'm Michael Eisner? Like, I just, whatever, or do you think it was like, well, there's concerns, but let's try it anyways?
Well, when did Batman come out? That was 1989 or 88?
Are you talking about the movie from Universal?
Yeah, the Universal
or the comic
movie.
books.
The Universal movie.
I do not know. The Universal movie.
I think it was 89. It's looking
okay. Well, Eisner would have known from his connections at Universal what was happening at the time. So that's probably why these contracts really started about 87, 88. Mm-hmm. I do think that Warren Beatty was like, no, I think he was that good of a salesperson that he went so hardcore into it and got so much money out of Disney that they couldn't say no after it had already gone too far, is what I think.
I think, too, the old farts who would have been in leadership at the time probably grew up with Dick Tracy.
They were fanboys themselves.
And so they have that positive connotation already with this character. And so, like, it's probably not even crossing their mind that, like, oh, we should change the name of Dick Tracy to something else, Because they probably just are like, oh, this was great when we were kids back in the
1940.
Like,
we didn't have these woke Gen Xers out here trying to get us to rename our kids from Dick. Dick is an honorable name. I'm proud to be a Dick, okay?
That's so bad. I mean, but true though. That's 100%. Yeah, I bet actually some of the conversations around the board table that happened that way.
Yeah. No, I can see it, but it's just interesting thinking about like nowadays. I feel like there's that extra level of thought in the, when you're creating something of, well, okay, could this be taken the wrong way? And even past IPs now are suffering that kind of, okay, let's see if we can kind of adjust it now retroactively because we're worried it might be viewed as offensive or something. But in the 90s, I guess it was just more like, yeah, whatever. Just like, I don't know. I feel like someone had to have brought that up. Like, I think there was a younger person, there was someone that said, hey, maybe we should think about it. And I agree, it probably got vetoed, but I just think that conversation would have been so interesting to be like a fly on the wall and hear them talking about that. Like, I don't know, just like, I don't know what that type of conversation would be called, but just like the marketing, the branding of it. Does this make sense? Because even nowadays, like, you think about like how iPhone and stuff like that, when you search something, sometimes it abbreviates it. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're searching and everyone's seeing on Google because Google cuts it off, calling Dick. And it's like, okay, like just weird. Like it just, it all the ways it gets worked into things, it just doesn't line up well for longevity. So I feel like even if the Dick Tracy movie had been phenomenal and this had been more established in the parks, I still feel like at some point Disney nowadays would have to be like having a realistic conversation about, does it make sense to even keep this IP alive because of just the name?
Well, not even the name, but the fact that it went so far as to possibly get an attraction that was announced. It was announced on television that Dick Tracy Crimestoppers was in creation. It was going to come to Disney World first, and then it was eventually going to go to Disneyland. You were going to give a family Tommy guns to shoot at gangsters in Chicago. Who thought this was going to be a great idea?
Me. I think it's a great idea. I want to ride it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, so
the cultural sensitivity is
the
just
cultural
not
sensitivity.
there for that one.
It was the 80s. It was the early 90s. We weren't worried about these things. It's fine.
We were more innocent as a nation before 9/11. I've said it many times.
Yes. We talked about it many
9/11 and before the internet really took over our lives, we were just not
Bin
thinking
Laden
about these
killed
things.
Dick Tracy. Bin Laden ruined Dick Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden. Really ruined it for us.
Let me tell you a little bit about this attraction, okay?
Okay.
So in 1990, press releases and interviews circulated that the new Dick Tracy themed attraction called Dick Tracy's Crimestoppers, which Crimestoppers later became, or was at the same time, a television series, which I thought was interesting because, like, if you try to search Dick Tracy Crimestoppers, it will try not to pull that up. It'll pull up the actual television show. Well, it was already well into development. It was ready. Construction was going to be set, and this attraction, though, was set in the gritty underbelly of Chicago with mobster scenes from the 1920s and 30s. The concepts for the layout suggested a point-and-shoot style attraction like Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. However, instead of the Omnimover type vehicle that you move through with Buzz, guests would sit in an enhanced motion vehicle similar to that of the dinosaur attraction or Indiana Jones.
Oh,
wow. They're really going all in on this one.
Right?
Wow.
You were going to sit in, so imagine that type of rover style movement, but instead of being in like a Jeep, you were going to be in like a 1930s mobster mobile. And you were going to go zipping around the alleyways and the back streets of Chicago and go after these gangsters, which is crazy. Guests would meet Dick Tracy and help him on his daring mission. And there were rumored to be different like show elements that would include live actors in the very beginning in the pre-show to get you into where the actual like vehicle was. Very, very interesting. There's a couple different things floating around in there. They gave loose, like there's a couple, there are very few concept arts that exist out there online that are from previous Imagineers and what has been able to make it onto the internets. And I have included a photo. It reminds me a lot of the Chicago scene of the Great Movie Ride.
That's what I was going to ask, is do you think that was inspired? Because even the whole thing about live actors coming in a gangster scene, I'm like thinking like this sounds exactly like the Great Movie Ride, basically.
I really do think these were developed around the exact same time.
Yeah.
Were they? When did the Great Movie Ride open?
1989. So the movie and the ride would have finished being built at the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting too that they didn't think, I mean, whatever, creative decisions. But it's like I feel like something like Dick Tracy would be a really interesting and very colorful, like great movie type ride where it's like, or like an Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular type thing where it's like, here's kind of a behind the scenes of how we did this part from the movie or how, actors get into character or, whatever kind of type stuff. But it is kind of interesting that they were like, we're going to go straight to like just you are the guy pointing the gun and shooting the bad guys. Like that's what we're going to for the creative development.
Yeah, you have could you imagine that? You have the little family from Minnesota and you have the little 10-year-old Tommy there and he's like, look, Mom, I'm shooting at the stars. Oh my goodness, I could not.
You're doing great, honey.
You're doing great, sweetie. Oh, look, you got the high score. Yes.
Remember, aim for the torso. It's more easy to hit the torso.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this is very unfortunate.
Yeah, like,
very
would you have gotten essentially like a body count at the end, like not a Space Ranger score? Like,
That's true.
Like, yeah, you shot 20 mobsters. Like, then you're
I want to know what the pro
20
gamers
people on my hands.
I don't know the pro gamers KD ratio in the Dick Tracy ride.
No, and then would your body count determine what level of like either undercover agent, spy, rookie, like what is what you would get?
How big of a dick you are, basically, is what it comes down to. Yeah. If you kill a lot of people, you're just a bigger dick, basically.
Ian, we are a family-friendly show just because his name.
They named it that. I'm telling you, that was my concern all along.
I really think they were shooting for like Richard Nixon to be like the top level, but everyone vetoed it and decided to just put Bill Clinton instead. So,
Clarence.
It was the 90s.
It was the 90s. But
that's a joke for the parents.
That was
listening.
No, and the younger generation's going to go right over their head. But it's so interesting looking at these concept arts and even the outside facade. So this was going to be possibly a replacement for, like, there's always rumors of where this could have been. One thing suggested it was going to be where Tower of Terror was.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So it would have taken up that whole backlot area. And then next to it would have been something else that we're going to talk about for next episode. So I want to save that. Or no, we mentioned it. We did Toontown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Roger Rabbit was supposed to be next to it. So it was going to be like the warehouse vibes. And they would be able to create the facades to be able to cover it up and then blend it in. So you would have like the bright sunny side and then you'd have the dark seedy underbelly of Chicago.
Genuinely, those could have gone very well together.
Oh, 100%.
They really could have.
And then like the back of the warehouse could have just been the Judge Doom area. And you could have blended the two storylines together if they saw each other. I totally could have foreseen this happening.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them have a main character detective. Both of them have a seductive main actress that is kind of a bad guy, kind of a good guy, who knows till the end. They really are very similar in a lot of ways.
Well, so all these things never came to fruition, or the show was there for a short while. The attraction never came to be. But one little tiny Dick Tracy reference did appear on the Backlot tour. And it ran for a brief amount of time. A group of buildings on the Backlot, so I think it was in the New York Street, actually. They were painted in the primary colors, and there would actually be like kind of like the Universal Backlot tour that still happens where you like stop and then they'll interact with the tram. They would stop and you would watch a scene take place and there'd be like a little narrator that would narrate just like the Dick Tracy movie. And so the narrator would talk and a police officer would just be walking down the street with his little baton, and all of a sudden somebody would come out of the pawn shop having just robbed the place. And he'd be like, "Stop there, villain. You can't go that way." And then the villain would take out a machine gun and then hold the tram hostage to the point where in the audio, he would be like, "You asked for it, Sheriff. 1, 2, 3," and would go to like pretend to shoot like a random guest in the tram. But the gun would like lock and it wouldn't actually shoot. And then all of a sudden that's how they was like, "Oh no, but it didn't work. And that's why you got away." And I'm like, "You were gonna off a guess?"
He's looking out. All right, which one of you bought fast passes today?
Oh goodness. Which one of you did not tip their waiter at Brown Derby this morning?
It would become similar to like being the spy in Star Tours. People would want to be the one that gets shot.
Would you? I mean, maybe.
I genuinely think if that stayed, it would become the same level of like, I hope I become the spy this time on Star Tours. and get my face on the screen, it would be the same vibe. People would be like, I hope I'm the one that gets shot.
I hope
this
I'm
ride.
the hostage.
I want to be the one that gets killed.
It's true. I mean, I just think it's so amusing. And there's still videos of the whole scene that you can watch on. I mean, you'd have to look up specifically the one from 1990. Did this last for multiple? No, I think it only lasts for about the exact same time that the show ran. So only for about a year. So you have to look up Backlot tour videos from 1990 to spring of 1991, and they're clips of this scene happening, and it's so interesting.
Love it.
What a time! What a time!
It sounds awesome.
I mean, I think it sounds pretty cool. So again, so this all disappeared. The Crimestoppers attraction never came to fruition, but that same technology using the little lasers did eventually appear in Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And it's just interesting to think that Buzz Lightyear, which is a very calm and very chill ride, and is very light and also cartoony, very cartoony in these primary colors.
Cartoony and fun. I don't know that it's calm by any means.
It's not.
It's pretty calm. You're just kind of
You're not going in the
fast. You're just kind of.
You're in an Omnimover. You're not in a Jeep running around the streets of Chicago shooting up gangsters.
It's no Small World though. It's not calm.
I mean, okay.
I would agree. I would say if you asked what is a calm ride, I would be like, yeah, Buzz Lightyear is pretty calming. Like, yes, you're trying to shoot things, but
I think it's way too stimulating, to be considered calm.
I mean,
I think maybe speed wise, sure, it's not a fast ride, but I wouldn't say it's like a relaxing jaunt through space.
That's interesting. I would
See,
say
I would
like
consider it a
Soarin'
calm
to
ride.
me too is also like a calm ride. Like it's very.
I would say
like,
Soarin' could be considered calm.
it's chill, but also it's very stimulating. Your feet are hanging 90 feet off the ground.
I think the new update that's coming for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is not going to be a calm ride.
They're bringing the Tommy guns back.
No, might as well though. No,
I hope so.
Instead, so the Walt Disney World update that's currently happening is that instead of having the stationary little lasers, you are going to be able to take them out. The point system is changing. The targets are changing. So I think it's getting a plus. It's not going to operate the exact same as what's currently over in Disneyland, but we're still getting that feature of being able to remove the guns to be able to point better instead of just being stationary to the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be good until they bring back the Eastern Airlines reservation counter.
That was amazing to look at the history of too. Like, Clarence, a random tangent in the middle of the episode. We did a deep dive, a last minute add-on into what was there previously before Buzz Lightyear, and I did not realize how much of the track and when you go into that tunnel and it's the projection, it is the exact same as what it was in the 70s.
Been there the whole time.
No, but it explains why the ride would break down randomly. It's because the track itself is old.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, but that's, again, a rant for another time. Very, very interesting history, though. If
Also,
you ever
it opened
want to look
8 years later.
Huh?
Then Buzz Lightyear opened 8 years later than Dick Tracy was supposed to. So they just sat on this technology for 8 years and didn't utilize it
Basically.
at all, which is really funny to me.
Right? I think just because,
Did they
you
update
create this technology.
I was going to say, did they update the little the Frontierland shooting arcade in the meantime? That would be interesting if that got the technology, because that's kind of the same thing, the infrared laser technology. I wonder if that was also out of Dick Tracy, or was it updated before Dick Tracy came?
No, it wasn't updated until. Hold on, we wrote about this in the book of when the date was updated. I want to say it was 1980. 86?
Oh, well, that'd be before then Dick Tracy, right?
It would have been before Dick Tracy, but it would have used the same laser technology, but in a stationary thing, not in an Omnimover vehicle.
Yeah.
Right.
I was just trying to think of a bridge of where they would have used the technology somewhere else other than, like Clarence said, an 8-year gap. But
yeah, and that was for all of the shooting arcades. They all changed over because originally, up until the 80s, they were all pellets, which is hilarious to think about.
You know what? We did talk about that at one point, and I had forgotten.
Yes.
That's really funny.
But that laser technology was utilized. It was created probably to update all that first. It was probably a standard amongst the arcade community. And they're like, oh, how can we plus it? Let's use it over in Dick Tracy. Nope, we can't do that. And then I think that for a period there in the very early 90s, I think because of the flop of Dick Tracy and then also Euro Disney opened up at that same time, there was kind of this period of stagnant and how are we going to use this technology? Where are we going to put it? There's a negative connotation to it for an attraction that never came to be, you know? So that's probably why it sat for so long.
The Dapper Danielle Show will be right back after these messages.
I want to look back at this and I think of all the other things that Disney was like, oh, for sure, this is what is going to go so wonderfully. And I think because of Dick Tracy and pouring too much into something beforehand is why when movies like Frozen came out, Disney wasn't prepared. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Because
like you think that you're saying that basically, because they also did like the Rocketeer as like another, I feel like, example of like a high investment from Disney's part to hype it and then just kind of box office bust relatively speaking. But
they did that all the way up until about the 2000s, right before 9/11. Like even the submarines were rumored to be turned into Atlantis, which opened up in 2001. So, like, there was always this idea of like, oh, how can we bring in the IP? How can we bring it into the park early? And I think all these things, because they all flopped, just kind of burned Disney out from it. And they're like, we're going to play it safe. And then when they didn't do anything, when something like Frozen went mega viral, they weren't ready for it.
I don't think I fully agree with that sentiment because considering, I mean, the ride we just talked about, Space Ranger Spin, was only 3 years separated from the first Toy Story movie.
True.
That feels like a pretty, and that was before, I mean, I guess Toy Story 2, what year did Toy Story 2 come out? Was that 98?
Yes.
Because Toy Story 1 was 95.
Let's see.
Was it 98 or 2002?
99.
99.
It was
oh,
99.
Wow.
Okay, so maybe it was in preparation for the second movie that it opened up. I think that was kind of before it became like a powerhouse IP for Disney. And then like Buzz Lightyear Star Command didn't even come out until 2000. So like the TV show that like Space Rangers are really kind of the focal point was still like 2 years away. So I think there's just Disney just kind of has to make take a gamble beforehand of like what is going to do well, what is not, and how can it be integrated into the park well.
So is it really in the boardrooms when they're having these conversations and they're literally taking bets on, I think this is what's going to be successful and we should go full power mode into it?
Maybe. I do think too though, like Disney at one point was more about, like, the parks were more about promoting the films rather than the other way around.
Yes.
Or maybe I have that mixed up.
No. You like Disney, like Walt's original vision of most of the attractions in Fantasyland did not follow true to what the actual story was, and it put the guest into a similar scenario or in the same storyline, but it wasn't true to the movie, but it was in promotion of the movie.
Yeah, I think now it's more like we're going to use the, like, which it's always kind of been this, but the parks to really be like a final place after you see the movie. Like you see the movie first and then you go to the parks and experience the
it seems
ride
familiar
afterwards. where I think before maybe you'd go to Disney World, had not have seen a lot of the films, go ride the rides, and then afterwards, like, oh, I want to go see that movie now. I want to see that film. I want to buy it on VHS from the gift shop, So
it's also just, the medium is the message. Now that everything's streaming, it's way easier to have access to the movies, so you can watch more.
Watch it on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was just looking up, too, for Frozen. They did roll out the Frozen sing-along only, 4 months after the movie came out for Frozen. So they got that patched up real fast. I think it's less. I mean, I kind of agree with both of you. I think that I think executive rooms tend to be conservative, and so anytime you have flops, they definitely influence your approach for the next risk you're going to take. But I also think, kind of like what Clarence is saying, that Disney has always had a hard time predicting their success. And I think you can look at that just with their animation studios, of how they frequently would allocate the best teams, the most resources to films that just flopped, especially through the late 90s and early 2000s. It was like, I felt like every time Disney was saying, this is our winner, it was like, yeah, that's not very good. Here's this one that your C team put together that is now the Academy Award winner, fan favorite childhood,
or the one that becomes the cult classic years later, like Goofy movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just kind of more, just a different layer to it or something. And I think kind of the same thing with Frozen. It's just, it's a weird time to resurrect the Princess franchise, kind of, in a way. It's just really just, no one was expecting Frozen to take off for a lot of reasons. I think just partially because it was animated, and I actually think that one of the reasons why Frozen did was so surprising to so many people is actually because of the ads, which, not saying my experience is universal, but I remember seeing the ads and thinking, that looks so bad. I really will never go and see Frozen. And then
Literally
some friends
same.
were forced me to go one night. I was like, let's go watch Frozen. It's new and we'll go see it in theaters. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And I was 2 minutes in, I was like, this is great. This is an amazing film so far. And then the whole way I was like, wow, this is actually really good. So I kind of think some of it too is just, the marketing. It's even it just the hype, how they're revealing it to people. People react a certain way, and it's it's not going to be so good. And then they decide, yeah, we're not going to roll out the Frozen show any sooner, and so I think that there's all these decisions. It's not just one decision 2 years before the movie's released. That's, should we hype up Frozen? Should we not hype up Frozen? There's a bunch of little checkpoints along the way that kind of influence it. But I don't know. There's some flops doing deep dives in Disney history in the parks where I'm like, I have no idea how this got greenlit for so much money and planned attractions and stuff, when there's so many other great ideas that take forever to get money and funding at Disney that are just sitting around. So yeah, I think basically it's both and, it's there's Disney just has a hard time, I think, predicting the success of the movies in general and then capitalizing on it in a meaningful way.
Right. And that's where I really want Hoppers to do well. The upcoming movie that's coming out. Friends have already seen it. There's been a ton of previews, and I think it releases here for early previews in the next 2 days. And everybody's coming out being that's not what I expected. I thought it was going to take a totally different turn. It was very funny. It was whatever. So I hope it lives up to what our friends are saying. And I want it to do good. I want it to...
The way you're talking about it right now does not give me hope.
Really?
And I was really, really hopeful for this movie, but the way you just described it right now with what your friends are saying about it, I'm a little more...
Wait, why? I don't
know. It just the way you described it was it's not what I expected. Okay, what does that mean?
Well, because they thought it was just going to be a silly little animal movie. And I guess it has a lot more drama to it. There's a lot more of a deeper message to it, but some really, really funny moments. But then all of a sudden it hits you in the feels when you don't expect it to. I think is what more of what they were surprised by.
I don't know. That I just
And it's true. There are some of my friends I look at. I'm like, are you saying that just because, and you're just giving it a glowing review, or is it actually good? And so I gotta wait a little bit.
I like your friends. I don't always trust their opinions on media. So
True.
just to be fair.
Well, and like,
I mean, like, who's one of your friends? Like their favorite movie is Treasure Planet or something.
oh, Cole's favorite movie is Treasure Planet.
Yeah, Cole. I'm sorry, Beard, but like, it's not a great choice. Like, come on, dog.
But it's also,
I'm not gonna trust
like,
your movie recommendations, but I love hanging out with you.
I feel like I have movies that I'm like, yeah, these would not be considered the pinnacle of movie making technology, but I love them. And like for me, they're like, this is my like ride or die collection of ones I would have to have that I'm gonna show to my daughter. Even though I know I've shown these same movies to Jacqueline, and she's like, yeah, they're just okay. Like I don't really see what you see in this one. So I think some of that choice and what becomes nostalgic for you and what becomes enjoyable is partially because of when you see it, how you see it, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think I wouldn't judge people's current opinions too much based on their past watching experiences and what they hold dear, because there's ones where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know about this one. Like Christmas Vacation. You guys love Christmas Vacation as a family.
But that's truly a nostalgia one for us. It's not necessarily because it's a great movie, but
I think it's terrible.
It's a great movie. America agrees.
No, it is not good at all. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like there's ones like that where I'm like, yeah, I would say, but I trust both of your judgment on films nowadays, even though you guys both say Christmas Vacation is a great Christmas film. And I'm like, yeah, that ranks pretty low on my list. So I don't know. I think with Hoppers, just like every other Disney movie, the proof is in the pudding. Let's wait a little bit, see, what everyone actually thinks about it in a while. But I thought the ads always for it looked really interesting, which is more than I can say for Frozen.
Too.
So
true. I would say the ads have been better for Hoppers than what was Frozen, 100%.
I will still probably go see it. I would still like to see it. Although now I'm just gonna like, I'll reserve my judgment until after I see it. Okay. But I will say, like, I was very excited when I saw the ads for it. I'm like, oh, this looks really fun. So I hope it's fun. I hope it's good.
Well, hopefully I'll see it by the time that we record our next episode, hopefully. And maybe I'll be able to give a little bit of a review over it.
Okay. I will not be going to a movie anytime soon.
No, you got the vivid one. You kind of are stuck at the... wait until it releases on digital, and maybe you can watch it while she's napping.
We'll see it. Me and Danielle will go see it, and we will reenact it on the podcast for you. How about that?
That's great. I would love that.
Perfect.
Make that exclusive bonus episode. Be like, okay, you play this character, and then I'll do that. That would be funny.
We just don't have the scripts. We just got to do it from memory and do our best to reenact the full film.
Just like the Dick Tracy show. You just have kind of the basic premise of what the film is about, and then you make a show about it, and it'll be very entertaining.
What a great callback.
We won't have Madonna. We'll add music to it. We're gonna ad lib. It's not a musical, Clarence. Hoppers is not a musical, but we'll turn this one into a musical, so it's just like Diamond Double Cross.
Have you asked Madonna if she would be on the show? You haven't even invited her.
That's so true. Come
I
on,
gotta
Danielle.
get
What
Eisner first before I get Madonna.
Yeah, Eisner first, then Madonna.
True.
Eisner first. He's
yes.
Yeah. We're going to MegaCon soon.
We are going to MegaCon.
Like
yes. We
announce
are
some stuff.
We can talk about some more stuff now. So confirmed, we are bringing books with us. We are also bringing Spirit jerseys. A very, very small amount of Spirit jerseys will be present, so you don't have to pay for shipping, which is great.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I just got those confirmed today. Got the order placed from Spirit Jersey to be like, hey, give me my shirts, please. Thank you. So we'll be getting a couple of those. It's going to be the non-sparkly version, and so we will have a handful of options that go up to 3X, which is great. We're going to have sizes small through 3X. Again, it's going to be first come, first serve. And once they're gone, they're gone. And what else do we have going on? Oh, I am ordering pins, some cool little things. There's currently a poll that is live on the Patreon. I just posted it at the time that we were recording this episode. And the pins, though, should be already well ordered by then. But if you want a preview of what possibly is coming, go and check out the Dapper Danielle Patreon to see which orange bird design will be finally making the cut. There's also a really cute churro design that is coming out too. I'm so excited about this one. It's very on brand. It's not it doesn't say on it like night night sleep tight dream of churros tonight, but it is my official art for the churro, and it just is so retro-y. I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm. It looks great.
Thanks. I am looking into the churro pin in particular. I'm trying to get it so that way the churro pieces have a subtle like brown champagne-y sparkle to it to make it look like churro dust.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it comes out as good as I imagined it, but all these will be available over at MegaCon. We're going to be doing meet and greets over there. Ian, Clarence will be there. Your flights are confirmed. You guys have bought your flights?
We're there.
I got my tickets.
I even got a rental car.
Oh, fabulous. Honestly, smart, because we will not all fit in my bug.
Your bug is a small family car.
A very small family car. Very small family car. And it's so funny. I know we called out Cole for not liking his choice of Treasure Planet, but Cole has already volunteered himself to help me move in with his bigger car, and we're gonna be able to help move in the Dapper Danielle display when Dapper Mom and Dad come down a little bit earlier before you guys do. So it'll be good. It's all going to work out. We're going to be in the back of Community Zone, and where the cars are. So if you are looking for the cars, head towards, or you can probably find the cars. I'll be probably next to the Ghostbusters. And just find the Ghostbusters, and the Dapper Danielle will be there. Actually, this might work out in our favor.
It might.
Because last time they brought a giant marshmallow.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. So we'll be in the Community Zone, also close to where the 501st is, where the big Star Wars area is.
A few rows down from them.
We'll be there doing panels, talking to people. There will be some other guests coming by that you can meet, as well as Danielle. We'll have some announcements on who's showing up as well, and who's maybe making some surprise appearances in some panels. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but it's going to be fun. It's March 18th. 19th. March 9th. I'm flying down the 18th, so my brain is the 18th. March 19th through the 22nd. So Thursday through Sunday. If you have not already, you should totally go buy some tickets. Also, if you're not a part of the Patreon, as Danielle said, she's doing polls about what she's going to be selling there and the designs. If you were signed up, you could maybe have a hand in like deciding what Danielle's merch is.
Well, not even having a hand in it. If you're not even able to make it to MegaCon's how you're going to guarantee and secure it. I did decide that part of the paid tiers of the Patreon are going to have the chance to pre-sale it, and they're going to secure the inventory before I even bring it to MegaCon.
Very nice.
If you want a preview and you want to get your hands on it first, I am going to be doing a pre-sale where you can come pick it up from me at MegaCon, or because you are part of the paid Patreon family, you could also pre-purchase it as well. So make sure you go check it out.
Of your pens last year too?
We sold out within the first day.
By the morning of day 2. Like it was probably an hour into day 2 after we opened, we sold the last pen. Because I think we sold all but one on the first day. Yeah. And then, it was. We found
like a handful more because it fell to the bottom of the little cardboard box we were using for storage. And we found like 8. But yeah, they were gone within the first hour.
Wow. Yeah. Crazy. So we'll have some more this year. So for the people who missed out last year,
I'm looking at not bringing back the same design. So this one is also going to be a limited edition run.
It's what you could call a park exclusive, but that's like Disney code
Dapper
for
Danielle
what we're doing.
Con exclusive.
A con exclusive, exactly.
Because I don't sell my art or my fan art anywhere else. It is only available at MegaCon or through my private website, and even then, like the website portion is not accessible right now. So it'll only be accessible for the Patreon family. They're the ones that are going to get the special little access to it. Wow, crazy.
Perfect. Anything else we need to plug?
I don't think so. I think right now MegaCon is our main focus and worry, and afterwards we're going to be looking at some other opportunities for some book signings too. So more information to come. We just got to get through MegaCon.
Perfect.
Yes. And by the time this episode also releases will be Adventureland Day. So I will have a little recap for you guys too about Adventureland Day and how that went.
All right.
Yep. Well, anything else to add, guys? I think that's just about it. We'll leave them thinking about Tommy guns and shooting up gangsters in the back of Chicago. And your homework is to go and look up Dick Tracy Diamond Double Cross and educate yourselves, y'all. Good times. Good times. So, thank you again for watching this far into the episode. And until next time, night-night, sleep tight, dream of churros tonight. We'll see you guys.